Welcome back. This is Weeknights. We are back once again on this Thursday night. We kept saying it was Thursday yesterday.
Yeah, I still think it's Friday for some reason.
Thursday part two. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're back. I'm JD, aka He Who Pods.
And I'm Dash, aka Dashing D.
Sweet. So get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw recently that DMX has a what do they say, posthumous
Posthumous.
number one, posthumous. It's a weird word.
It's a very weird word.
Posthumous number one on Billboard. So I pulled up the article. It's not what I thought it was gonna be though when I clicked the article.
What went number one?
It's something new. It's not any of his hit records that we know. Yeah, it's weird. It's actually I'll read it. I got it pulled up right here. So this is from Forbes.
Mm.
Forbes says DMX lands a new number one hit this week on America. They're pretty sure they meant in America.
Mm.
The rapper is featured on Five Finger Death Punch's new single, This Is the Way, which debuts atop the hard rock digital song sales chart. According to Luminate, This Is the Way starts in first place on the hard rock on the hard rock digital song sales chart
Mm.
thanks to 1,546 pure sales. The tally ranks the tunes that sells the most copies in the U.S., each tracking frame that Billboard labels as hard rock when it comes to genre. This methodology differentiates it from other rock rankings, like the Hot Hard Rock Songs Tally, which takes into account streams as well as sales. So this is
So
on,
he's
I
a
guess,
so he's
physicals.
on rock charts.
Yep, he features on this song, and that's what it says next. Uh, it says, while this may be new territory for DMX and his voice, Five Finger Death Punch has been in this position many times before. In fact, This Is the Way is the band's 17th number one on this specific tally. And so he's got a feature on their song,
Interesting.
and it's number one.
I would have never
Number
guessed
one
that.
on a specific rock chart. I thought that was so weird and interesting.
Yeah.
Uh,
I would have never guessed that. That wouldn't have
I
been
haven't even heard the song. I thought it honestly when I saw the article, I was like, "Oh, this gonna be some fly shit," because
yeah.
it's gonna be one of his old joints, or maybe something from his last album right before he passed.
Mm-hmm.
Because uh, Monday this week made 3 years since he passed.
Right.
So I thought, oh, okay, probably people trying to honor him in that way or something.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, that's what I thought.
Some random feature. I don't even know, did they sample an old song, a new was it a verse that they had in the stash and his estate gave it? Article doesn't really say much more, so I guess we got to go do our own due diligence.
I mean, but good for DMX. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Weird, but
yeah,
cool.
it is cool. I totally agree. Weird but cool. Yes.
And nice that this news is. It is nice that the news is coming out. As we take a look back at his life and his legacy.
Yeah.
It's not the way we thought we would have this week, right?
Right.
But it's interesting, and I also think it speaks to his talent. We talk a lot about genre bending and crossing over, and
Yeah.
not everyone does that successfully or has done that successfully.
Oops.
So it's pretty cool. Good for him. And may he continue to rest in peace.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think this is really cool. Oh, go ahead.
oh, sorry, and I was just gonna say, it wouldn't hurt if everybody drove up his streams this week.
Right. Run it up. That's what the kids
Run
say.
it up.
Run it up.
Play your favorite DMX songs this week. You know, it's an honor.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think this is cool and random. I really wonder, is it an old verse or not?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it something else? But either way, I think it's cool that this was able to happen, and I want to know more about it. I really thought when I found the article that it was gonna be something old. Like I said, I thought it was gonna be like, I don't know, Party Up or something. I don't know.
Right, because
Uh,
Party Up is one of them ones, especially because you can find Party Up pretty much anywhere. Like you could go to Target and hear Party Up. You could be
so many
watching a
SKUs.
movie and hear it. You could be at a party and hear Party Up. I think that's one of the ones
Absolutely.
that's definitely a good guess because
Yeah,
it's
I thought.
literally everywhere.
Yeah, I thought cats were just running up his numbers for the I guess anniversary of his passing. I don't know how
Yeah,
to word that, but
yeah.
again,
Yeah.
cool that it's something new. Cool that it's on a whole different chart.
Mm,
Seems like this is based on physical sales because it's saying pure sales. I think the wording in
mm,
some of this stuff is interesting too, because the
mhm.
article made sure to say that it's different from another chart that also counts streaming. This is not. This does not count streaming. So
Okay.
pure sales. It's
Okay.
interesting. Interesting verbiage there.
Well, good for DMX.
All right.
Kind of wild, but nice at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Agreed. All right.
Well, I know there's something that you thought wasn't so nice.
Ah, I was gonna say. Speaking of wild. um. Yeah. So the Deadpool trailer came out,
Hugh
and the film is
Jackman,
called. Yeah, the film
Ryan
is
Reynolds.
called.
I even saw Tom Wamsgams in that trailer.
You know what I'm saying? Tom is doing his thing.
I was gonna say I saw a familiar face, but obviously all those faces are familiar. But we love
He wasn't
Succession over
expecting Tom.
here, so I wasn't
Right.
expecting to see Tom. I got to be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Deadpool, but you know, so I'm gonna let you. I just had to drop that real quick because when I saw it, I said, "Hi, Tom,"
All right.
but yeah,
The cool
please.
thing about the Deadpool movies is you really don't have to see the previous film.
Hmm.
A lot of times they don't tie together in the way that a lot of other movies are. Um,
Yeah.
Even though it kind of picks up right after the other one, but it's not necessary. Like if you see the movie, you're not gonna feel like, man, I was so lost. I don't know what the hell they were talking about and referencing.
Hmm.
They often reference pop culture things and other things from Marvel in lighthearted ways. Um, the Deadpool movies are big on action, big
Hmm.
on pushing the boundaries,
Yeah.
and they always poke fun at other things. So he's poked fun at other movies he's done, other things that have happened in Marvel, things that have happened in pop culture, and things like that. So even in the trailer, in the sneak peek trailer that came out a while back, I think it was Super Bowl Sunday or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, the people arrive at his door with the TVA devices to transport him. He says, "Whoa, whoa! Pegging is not new for me. It's only new for Marvel, for Disney."
Mm.
And so that's
Very
kind of the
tongue in
type of
cheek.
stuff. Yeah, that's exactly how the films are.
Yeah.
Wait, let's get to this trailer. So this trailer came out. The film is called Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not called Deadpool 3, so that tells you there's a very specific theme here. And so Hugh Jackman is one of the main characters, clearly, as we all know him for infamously playing Wolverine. And that's the character he's playing here. The trailer is interesting. Uh, it seems like they're kind of remixing the plot of Old Man Logan, which
Okay.
was the last movie was called Logan in Wolverine's trilogy.
Hmm.
Wolverine had three movies.
Hmm.
Uh, Wolverine Origins, The Wolverine, and then Logan.
Okay.
Seems like this is supposed to kind of be using that character, but maybe not. The way they're talking, to me, it seems like it. Um, but maybe not. But it's clear that this is an older Wolverine who has some type of regret, feels like he failed his team and his people, don't really feel like the most confident Wolverine.
Mm.
And on the flip side, you have Deadpool saying like, "No, this is the guy. He's the one. You're the one." And then there's all the explosions and the other things going on in the trailer. I saw the trailer twice. Um, it was cool. I didn't think it was anything groundbreaking or super duper fly. Um, I mean, I think the teaser trailer was probably better, if I'm being honest. I was not impressed, which is confusing to me, uh, because Kevin Feige has made it clear. Uh,
Who was mentioned in the film?
yeah, they do that on purpose. That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
That's kind of Deadpool's thing.
Yeah.
Um,
In
Kevin
the
Feige
trailer,
made
I
it
mean.
clear that. What was that?
In the trailer, I mean. I said in the film. Obviously, I haven't seen the film, but I'm at the trailer.
Gotcha. Don't worry, no one has seen the film. We have to
I
wait till July.
I know. I just, someone will say, "Why is she acting like she saw it?"
Got you.
you know.
Yeah. So they mentioned Kevin Feige in the trailer. You are correct, but in real life,
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Feige has been speaking very highly of this film, and Marvel has made it clear that one of the reasons this is the only film coming out this year from Marvel
Mm-hmm.
is because they believe this is going to be a $1 billion film. They believe it's going to be $1 billion plus film.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, cool, but you probably shouldn't have said that and then dropped this subpar trailer. And to give them a little grace, I know it's the first trailer. You know, people want to see more. I'm sure there'll be other trailers that'll be probably better. But it just seemed like we're recruiting Wolverine, and then they take him back to the TVA,
Mm-hmm.
and Tom, I don't know what his character is going to be called in the film. Uh, but Tom is saying like, this is the wrong guy. This Wolverine fucked up. He failed his whole universe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that's part of the flip, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever, man. I wasn't impressed. I didn't feel like this was the one. I wasn't excited. I mean, sure, you got Ant-Man's head super big, and that was cool, but um, it didn't do it for me. Like, I didn't feel like this first trailer was super fly.
I'm indifferent, I guess, because I haven't really followed Deadpool, so you know, I don't really have a. I've seen it here and there. Like, I don't think I've seen Deadpool from beginning to end, but so I don't have a whole lot of knowledge of that. Obviously, I'm familiar with Marvel. We've talked about Marvel a lot. Um, so I just I just thought it was like, oh, this is like, I thought two things. I thought
Okay.
compared to other Marvel films that I've seen, this seems more funny. Like, the goal is to be even funnier than the other films, which you
Yeah.
see a lot, like in Guardians. Guardians, they're very like casual with the way they speak. They try to make up, there's innuendo there. I feel like Guardians is probably the closest thing to that, in terms of like the banter. Um, so I noticed that, but I also noticed that it's more crass in terms of the language,
Yeah.
which I'm totally
First, this
fine
will
with.
be Marvel's first official rated R movie.
Okay. I didn't check the rating. I didn't pay attention to
Yeah,
that when I was watching
it's
it.
been highly promoted because the Deadpool movies have always been rated R,
Okay.
and super explicit. I think it's in the first one.
Okay.
Him and his girlfriend are pegging.
Okay, that's where that reference comes from. Okay. But I was like, "Oh, okay, this is a ways away from some of the films that I've seen." I mean, if I don't know how many know, but I only watched Marvel from beginning to now. The only thing I think I haven't seen is Echo. But in the last year and a half. So so a lot of it is very fresh in my mind, and that was one thing that stuck out to me. And I kind of feel like they did that too with obviously it was on Disney Plus, so I feel like it didn't go that far, but I feel like they tried to push the boundaries with She-Hulk. In some of the conversations, they
Hmm.
were a little bit more mature.
Right.
Um but I did have a question, a Marvel question.
Sure.
Because like I said, I'm indifferent as far as my opinion of it. I'm indifferent. I don't know. I didn't know what I was supposed to get out of it. Um, to me, it looks like you could probably get some laughs in. Um, it does make me want to go back and like see where Deadpool started, just to kind of get a better idea of where it's at now. Um, but my question for you is, as like a Marvel fan and as somebody who also is very much in tune with like the actual comics, and having knowledge of that, do you think that, because I've heard you now say about either Marvel films of recently of late and trailers that you weren't impressed. Do you feel like Marvel is losing its touch?
Oh, everyone feels that way, including Marvel, which is why they're changing things so rapidly. They phase 4 and 5 were kind of the let's try different stuff phases. And they know they've lost fans and they know people are on the fence. And so they're doing a lot of things to try to change that. This film is part of that.
Okay.
So this film is supposed to be a pivotal part of what everything that's coming next. Um, so uh, it's no longer called Kane Dynasty, but Avengers 5 and 6, whatever they're going to be called, all that Secret Wars stuff that we've been kind of getting nudged towards, this is supposed to be a very important piece getting to that. So basically, uh, what they're doing is they're kind of remixing something from the comics called uh, Dead. There's this storyline of like Deadpool. I don't know the exact name, but basically Deadpool kills the Marvel universe kind of thing.
Hmm.
But they're kind of doing it with the Fox universe, quote unquote,
X-Men.
because Deadpool was one
Okay.
of the Fox franchises because Fox owned X-Men.
Hmm.
So this is supposed to be like a bunch of those characters are coming back from that era. So
I
you're
like
gonna see
that.
different versions. Yeah, and that's part of why they think it's gonna be a big film because they know there's all these features, guest appearances, cameos in the movie, right? So like allegedly a bunch of the X-Men people are coming back.
Mm.
Allegedly you're supposed to see like Chris Evans as Human Torch from the Fantastic Four movies.
Well, shout out to
There's
all the
all
old millennials who are gonna get to see that, because I
right,
remember watching the cartoons on television.
right. And so all these
Oh,
Fox movies from when we were younger, like Halle
yes.
Berry playing, Storm and
Storm.
all of those people,
Yeah.
they're all supposed to be having, or not all, but a bunch of them are supposed to have cameos in this film. So that's one of the things that Marvel is doing for this film. The other thing is it's supposed to be taking all this multiverse stuff and amplifying it. So there's supposed to be like a bunch of incursions, that was mentioned a lot in Multiverse of Madness, Doctor
Mm-hmm.
Strange. And they're supposed to be like destroying all these universes,
Mm-hmm.
which will set things up for Secret Wars, because the idea is Secret Wars is supposed to be like this big bad villain has basically destroyed everything, the entire multiverse, and all the remaining heroes have to come together to fight this big bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is supposed to be a big push towards that.
Yeah.
And they're using the TVA as part of what's making this happen. So
Because they can control
people,
the different universes.
right? So that's why you see the TVA. That's why you see like all these different. So there's supposed to be like tons and tons of multiverse alternative versions of people. So you should see multiple Wolverines, multiple Deadpools, etc., etc.
How do you
And
feel
that's
about that?
that's part of it. It's cool with me. There's a rumor that Henry Cavill
Mm-hmm.
is going to be one of the Wolverine alternative variant Wolverines.
Okay.
There's a rumor that what's Harry Potter's real name? The
Oh,
actor Daniel Radcliffe.
sure.
Uh, he's supposed to be one of the Wolverines.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were rumors that years and years ago there were fans wanted Henry Cavill to play Wolverine at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Fans wanted whatever
Radcliffe.
that guy to
Uh-huh.
play Radcliffe to play Wolverine at one point. So they're using all this stuff to kind of ramp up fans, get fans excited and
Mm-hmm.
get people to buy tickets. And so I think the first trailer looks ass. I think Marvel knows that they're not doing great and they're making a lot of changes, which that part is good. I think that's a good thing, right? When your business is
Mm-hmm.
struggling or you kind of tried too many wild things, it's time to rein it in. It's time to bring it in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we gained 100 pounds this year. All right, we gotta relax. Let's put the Twinkies away, right? So I think that's what's happening at Marvel. They're doing a lot of big changes.
Mm-hmm.
They've announced that like the Netflix shows are canon. They've created a new timeline with everything in it. So
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
they're doing a lot of things. And also Kevin Feige said at whatever the movie convention was, CinemaCon. He said at CinemaCon, this is Marvel's first rated R movie, not only rated R movie. So it insinuates that, okay, we're going to
There's more
continue to push
coming.
boundaries. There's going to be certain things that are more for adults. Even when you look at some of the older stuff, the more
Mm-hmm.
adult type of stuff is now being called Marvel Spotlight. And so they're doing
Yeah.
a lot of changes in house to kind of clean shit up. They know people didn't like a lot of the Disney Plus stuff, that a lot of the shows were not great, and that fans are like, "Yo, what's up with y'all?" You know what I'm saying?
So
Um,
are you sticking with it?
Sticking with what?
With Marvel, you're someone who keeps up with the movies and the shows and all of that. Are you here
Oh,
to
I mean, I
stay
got
or
AMC,
are you?
I got AMC A list, so I mean, it's free for me. It just costs me time. I'm cool with going to see it, but yeah, I'll watch them.
But I know some people
I
get to a point where they're like, this just isn't for me,
uh,
you know?
I think they have to. So they're in phase 6 now, right? 5, 6?
Yeah, I think it's 6.
No, 5. Got to be phase 5.
Well,
No,
phase 5 is not over. So it's
phase
phase
5 just started. Ant
right.
Man.
Right.
All right, so they're
That's
in
why
phase 5.
I'm saying phase 5 is in progress.
Right. So Thunderbolts is supposed to be the end of phase 5. So I mean, I don't mind sticking around. Uh, I don't think anything has been so horrible that it's like I don't want to watch this anymore.
Mhm.
I think with some of the changes they make, they can keep it interesting. They got Kevin Feige made sure to completely change just the Daredevil show that was done pretty much. He said it didn't live up to standards. Bob Iger, once he came back, he said that was one of the first things he did was meet with Kevin Feige and say like, "Hey, what's been going on since I've been gone? What are y'all doing? We got to get it back to where it's supposed to be."
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think that you got to give people a chance, right? Like, I mean,
I
even
agree.
even the same way I'm saying like this was the first trailer. We got to see what the next trailer is,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I think the same thing of like, okay, this is the start of Marvel trying to right the ship. So let's see what they got. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And also some things that people thought was horrible, I didn't think was horrible. So I think this kind of varies fan to fan.
Yeah.
I'm not like, this is it. If they do one more thing, I'm out. So for me, it's not that big of a deal.
One more Marvel question.
Sure.
Do you have a Kang in mind? Like someone you would want to play Kang? Because as far
Um,
as we know, it's still up for grabs, right? Like they probably chose someone, but we don't. They haven't really made an announcement about that. If you could pick somebody, is there anybody on your short list that you would pick? And for
I would
those who, for
do
context, Kang the Conqueror was played by Jonathan
Jonathan
Majors
Majors,
up to
and
this
they kicked him
point,
to the curb, right?
and they and Disney slash Marvel has let Jonathan Majors go. So I'm just curious, since he's someone we've talked about so much, and now we're
Right.
having this Marvel conversation. Why not?
I would do what I believe they're gonna do. I don't think they're gonna choose one person. I think that they're gonna have multiple people playing him because remember the Kang the Conqueror overarching theme is that he's this big bad guy in all of the different parts of the multiverse.
Right.
So they already have a bunch of footage of these Jonathan Major Kangs.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't need. I don't know how they're doing this movie. That's one of the things they were already going to change allegedly from the start of this phase because Ant-Man did not do well. Marvel says that they were planning on changing this. They were already meetings talking about changing this before anything ever happened with Jonathan Majors, and his legal battles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know how this Avengers 5 is going to be because originally Avengers 5 was supposed to be the whole Kang thing. Um, I believe that's changing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know enough information on how it's changing. But I think they're going to have multiverse. The point of that movie is all the Kangs, right? It's supposed to be the Kang War and Kang defeating the Avengers, right? That's kind of the thing. Which if you remember in Ant-Man, he even asked Ant-Man, like, which one are you? Are you the one with the hammer or something? I've killed so many of you, I can't remember, right? And that was kind of teasing, like, oh, he
Yeah.
about to kill mad Avengers later on. So I would just have a bunch of actors. I wouldn't necessarily stick to one
Mm-hmm.
actor. I don't know why I said anchor. I wouldn't stick to one actor. I would have John David Washington be one of them. I would have what's the guy's name? Daniel, is it Kaluuya? I
Kaluuya.
don't Kaluuya. There you go. I would have him play one. Whoever. I would have. You could have Denzel Washington play one. I mean, it don't whatever the budget is. You know what I'm saying? Like I would play around and add shock value. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
for example, if I'm gonna go get Denzel, I'll purposely have Denzel do like one of his classic lines. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
just pan to him killing an Avenger, some like Thor variant, for example, and be like, King Kong ain't got shit on me, and then keep
Mm-hmm.
going. Like have fun with it. It's supposed
Yeah.
to be all the Kangs or a bunch
Yeah.
of Kangs. So I would choose a bunch of actors. Have what's the guy everybody likes? Damson Idris, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
Have him be one of them. I don't. To me, it doesn't matter.
Mm.
Uh, it depends because it depends how you do the story, right? Now,
Right.
if we're mostly following one Kang in this film, right? If this is
Uh-huh.
like one Kang's journey throughout the multiverse, which maybe it will, I don't know. because it's an Avengers movie, quote unquote. So I don't
Mhm.
know how they're doing this, right?
Mhm.
It could not really be that Kang is the focus. It could be an Iron Man variant is traveling through the multiverse as he's trying to save the multiverse, but he keeps running into all these different Kangs and forming all these different Avengers teams that the Kangs kill. I don't know how they're doing it. I'm freestyling, but I think that's what changes who is the Kang. Like
Mhm.
if there's a main Kang, then yeah, you're gonna need a strong actor to be that main Kang, right?
Yeah.
But if you're doing it where it's mostly focused on Avengers and Kang is kind of this different person we keep running into,
Mhm.
well, you could keep changing the character. So allegedly, that's what Marvel is doing. There's no confirmation, but allegedly, Marvel is going to be changing up the variants of Kang,
Mhm.
which makes sense. We, like I just said, there's all these rumors of who's going to be Wolverine
Mhm.
in the Deadpool movie, right? There's all these different. Yeah, we know Hugh Jackman is the main one, but there's supposed to be all these different ones in different parts of the film.
Mhm.
You could do something like that. Uh, um, so I think it depends on the plot of the movie, is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah. I get.
there's a lot of ways they can do it. I have no idea how they're gonna do it at this point.
Mhm.
I would assume before they were all going to be played by Jonathan Majors or most of them, but that's no longer the case.
Mhm.
I think you could even include Jonathan Majors today. He didn't get any crazy, sentence. His sentence was 12 whatever however many months of therapy. So,
I was gonna say that I was wondering if now that the dust, well, I don't know that the dust is settled, but now that everything is finalized,
mhm.
there's some clarity about where this all ends up.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering if he pops out at some point
I I
and,
think Oh, go ahead, sorry.
they kind of like hit us with a surprising, oh, look who's back, or look who has this maybe smaller role than they did before.
Right. Right.
So I did wonder about that. I didn't want to ask that question because in my mind I was like, that's, I feel like that is a possibility, especially because you're right, they have footage of him that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
um a lot was in the works before Disney decided to pivot, before he had his legal battles. So I could totally see them. I mean, yes, we know that a lot of things get scrapped and we never see it, and that's it. There's a lot of projects that don't see the light of day.
Right.
But there's also some where you can actually go back and say, okay, well, we have this and we have this concept and this kind of fits into the concept or whatever the case may be. And so maybe that's a possibility. I don't know because I I don't know. I don't think that it's, for the black and brown actors, I don't know if it's that simple
I don't
of
think
a
it is.
thing,
And I don't expect him to be in the film at
you
all.
know.
Maybe I think it will be footage we've seen already of him. I
Mhm.
don't expect new footage of him to come out
Mhm.
because they very publicly denounced him.
Yeah.
Um, or rather, maybe denounced him is not the right way to say it, but they very publicly cut ties with him.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to have any role in this,
Mhm.
unless it's old footage. But as a viewer, as a consumer, I wouldn't be upset if I went to the theater and he was one of the, Victor Timely
Yeah,
was
no,
still played by him or something. I
I
wouldn't.
I wouldn't be either.
You know,
I kind of just
I
think it is
I
what it
don't
is at this
I
point.
don't see them giving him back his major role.
Right.
Um, I don't see that. Um, which we've discussed in the past.
Mhm.
That I don't see, but I don't think it would be bad for him to have a small role. I don't know. With Jonathan Majors, it's kind of still hard to gauge.
Mhm.
Things are too new as far as the sentencing that happened the other day and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends how Marvel is seeing it. Uh, but I highly doubt he'll just return.
Yeah.
They would have to make a very public statement again because after being so public about cutting his contract or ending it, whatever they did, we
Mhm.
still don't know all of that information. But um, the fact that they publicly cut ties with him, they would have to publicly once again say like, okay, he's
Mhm.
gone through his therapy. We believe that he's, back on the right track and he's going to be Kang again. That's the only way. And I think the public would have very mixed reviews of that
Mhm.
type of statement. But I think that's the only way they could do it. I think if they said nothing and then we went to the theaters or whatever, the trailer came out and it was
Mhm.
all him, I think we'll be like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Right.
why? Why is he just Kang and nobody said anything?
Yeah.
But I could see him having a small role of, like, well, we need Victor Timely to do this because without Victor, it'll never
Mhm.
work. And it just, here he comes, the stutter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
You want to save our last topic for another day since we're already over half hour in?
Yeah, we can save it.
All right, sweet. More to talk about another day. All right, take us out of here.
Well, this has been Weeknights, and we will see you tomorrow because tomorrow is the actual Friday. So,
Right.
so yeah, everybody have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.